Hey everyone, Jeff the Crackerjack Mechanic. We're all Crackerjack Mechanics here. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, I was going through some boxes getting my shop set up and I found this book, The Big Twin High Performance Guide, and I wanted to share it with you. So some of you have asked books that I've read in the past, information that's been useful in my career as a motorcycle mechanic. Again, some have asked how I got started out. And this is part of my origin story. So I found it. I haven't seen it for a while, but it's definitely a useful book. I spent a lot of hours reading this book when I was first learning about engine design or engine setup, we'll say. So the book itself is copyright 93-94. D. William Denish was the author of this, The Big Twin High Performance Guide. Goes into a lot of detail, kind of more specifically for evolution. It's it's an old book for sure. We're looking at about 30 years now. So I'm going to read from the back. It says, jam-packed with race and street high performance information for the Harley-Davidson Big Twin. Everything you need to make more horsepower and put it to the ground, your Bible for higher performance. This book's going to get into kind of describing a lot of useful things that, if you're not familiar with, are kind of confusing. Describes a lot in the cam and valve train. That's where I spend a lot of my time learning. Shows you some setup tips again for evolution, a little bit of shovel head. So if vintage bikes or older bikes or something that you're working on, or you're just starting out and you want to kind of place to read a lot of this, have a book in your hands for studying, for understanding, rereading. Sometimes it's a little easier than dealing with a computer screen. If that's your thing, I'm sure this information is readily available there, but at the time of printing, it was predating that availability. So it gets into, again, a lot of talks about carburation, some power theories, intake designs, goes in, talks about squish bands and flame propagation. So if these are things that don't make sense to you and you're starting out and you want to understand better, I would recommend this book. It's one that had a big influence on my understanding of things. So The Big Twin High Performance Guide, definitely recommended. And you might be able to find a copy of it somewhere out there. I don't know if it's still in print. It's been reprinted or however it is. So I've seen it with a different cover, but this is an OG copy, and I'm glad to have found it when I was going through my boxes. Sometimes these things get lost and we don't find them again. So Big Twin High Performance Guide. I'm Jeff, the Crackerjack Mechanic, and thanks for tuning in.